we going, guys? Mick here from Enough Cartel, back another kick-ass beer review. Tonight I'm going to review that's right, the Bliss Bomb Imperial Stout, one of my home brews. It's a scale up version from a 5 litre batch up to around about a 21 litre batch. So whatever I didn't get into keg, I put into bottles, going to share that with some of the guys down at the retirement village down the coast there. They really loved the double coconut chocolate milk stout I've done. The rough nut, they really enjoyed that, so we're going to give this a test run with those guys. A few of them down there, they really love their dry stouts, their Guinness, their Sheafs, their Murphy stouts, sort of lower ABV, dry, more of the Irish style stouts is what they really enjoy. But because they enjoyed the double chocolate coconut, I thought I'd give them a run with the Bliss Bomb Imperial, which is the caramel popcorn. The scaled up version came out a little bit, a little bit different than the small batch. The small batch was a lot nicer, and in all honesty, I didn't scale it up real well. These things happen, and not to get too off track with the original recipe, we've just got a few little tweaks to do there, and then I think we'll be pretty much on track. So once I've got that down pat and I'm really happy with the recipe myself and the outcome, I will release that recipe. I will put it up, so there'll be a series of videos where we'll work through perfecting this one, as we did with the rough nut. So here goes. We'll get it poured up. We'll do the tasting. We'll have a little bit of a visual and see what we think of it. Not long been on gas. It's taken a little bit of time to get the pressures right. This is the first tasting off tap. So in saying that, it'd be hard to judge the small batch against the upscale batch based on what I tasted from the fermenter versus what came out of the bottles of the small batch. So tasting the upscale batch out of the fermenter versus the small scale or the small batch version, there was a fair bit of difference. So this will be the true test. So this will be the secondary test the first of the upscaled, but secondary test of the recipe under carbonation. So here we go. It is nice and fluffy, compact head there, dark as the night, really nice looking colour, aroma, very roasty, and that's what I got from the taste test from the upscale batch out of the fermenter. And the caramel popcorn's there. It's more of a burnt popcorn sort of aroma. I don't know if that's a combination of the darker grains, maybe overuse of darker grains, and the coconut coming, the popcorn coming through on that. But on the nose, it's really good. It's definitely got everything that I was hoping for. So a slight hint of booze. You sort of get that almost that barrel aged vibe coming from it, and all the other sort of aromas coming through off the back of it. So you get your mocha, your coffee, slight bit of smoke as well. I don't know where that's coming from. That could be just from the midnight wheat. Got some really good cling. It has some stance there on the glass, which is nice. That's what you want. So that's just been poured out. We'll be looking at around about 5 degrees. We want to get that up to around about anywhere between the 7 to 9 degrees, anywhere up to 11, where we might get some of those descriptors coming through at 11 degrees. That would probably be the optimum temperature, I reckon, for this particular beer. Cheers, here goes. With that lacing, it's got that's got some really good cling. Caramel popcorn and booze directly up front, and then you just get that. I wouldn't say so much astringency, or bitterness of the darker grains, but it's very much a coffee shot, you know. Yeah, probably a little bit too much in it. So yeah, honest and upfront, I think the recipe definitely needs to be tweaked a little bit more. Now, the only thing we didn't do with this is probably what I wanted to do was add lactose, but the lactose I couldn't put into the bottle versions because one of those is actually going to a lactose intolerant receiver, and I have slightly back sweetened the keg because I felt that it needed it. Calculations were probably just about, well, pretty close. I think it's a little bit under from where it should be, but I think the next version, I think I may need to head into the region of using lactose. Just that little bit more creaminess, a bit more sweetness, a little bit more balance. Maybe try and help ride out some of that roastiness. So the question is whether to stick with the amount of roast that we've used, particularly the specialty grains and crystal malts, and see whether the lactose will help sort of smooth those out over time. Or directly up front would even be better. But these guys get to try the first release essentially. Hopefully they like what they're getting. I'm going to feel that that's going to be a lot more harsher out of the bottle than obviously off the keg because of that back sweetening. Other than that, I'm really happy. I might up the amount of caramel popcorn that's gone into it. We might split it up actually between, because on this one it was all in the mash. So we might do the same amount in the mash, and we'll add some to the boil to see if we can get it to carry through a little bit better. A few other ingredients went into it. Those who have been following along with the social media platforms would have seen the layout that I had for it. So there was a couple of adjunct ingredients that went into it. We might back off on one of those. I feel that's probably one of the bigger issues with this particular beer. Might have been a little bit too much of the molasses, but we'll see how we go. Like I said, lactose might balance that out. It is pouring really well. The colour, like I said, is good. I'm liking the cling, the lacing of the glass. You see that there. It is thick. It's dense. It's like an imperial. Any really good stout should coat every sort of part of the palate, and this does. So it comes through in various layers. It's not coming through in the order that I want it to, and I think there's just one important thing I need to do to make that happen, and that could possibly be the lactose, and help carry the beer a little bit better. Cheers. In the meantime, go and check out all the socials, like, share, subscribe, and if you are interested in the version 1 recipe, by all means shoot us a message or an email of some sort, and I'd be happy to share that, and go and tweak it yourself. All good. next video coming up will be the smoked oyster mushroom and pink sea salt ale. That's going to be a real banger. Look out for that one. It's a pretty comical release, that one. Cheers.